Oh my gosh, y'all. This is what Melody taught me about not chasing closure. Let the disrespect be the closure, especially if you would never do to them what they've done to you. And if they really loved you or cared about you, they will want to work it out respectfully, not be selfish and make sure their needs are met while hurting you. When you're in a relationship with people, it's not always about you and putting yourself first. And I feel like that's what men like Martell don't seem to understand. They would rather cheat than sacrifice the short-term thrill of fulfilling their needs. People do this all the time though, from ghosting, acting funny, doing everything but addressing the problem or the issue that they had with you. They want you to chase after them and beg them to stay, but they don't want to change or do the behaviors to make the relationship work. They want you to keep giving and giving and giving and over giving, but never putting in that same effort to make the relationship work for you. But no, you have to let the disrespect be the closure. Knowing you would never do them how they did you is enough to know the relationship is no longer worth saving. And if you find their behavior disrespectful, it doesn't matter what other people think. You don't have to go and take polls and ask other people, well, what should I do? Do you think he meant this? Did she really mean to hurt me like that? Look now, listen to yourself. Yourself will be the best guide. People don't live your life the way you do. You can only live life for yourself. So if you didn't like how somebody's moving or what they said or what they did made you feel a certain way, that is all the validation, the closure, the information you need to move forward. I used to do that. I used to be guilty of trying to get outside opinions to confirm if something was actually shade or if I was just overthinking. But I don't do that no more. I no longer look for outside validation when it comes to how I feel. If something feels off, that's enough for me to adjust, switch up, or cut someone off. You got to promote and demote people, fire and hire people accordingly, okay? I'm not going to gaslight myself anymore into believing that shade wasn't really shade. Just like towards the end of Melody's marriage, Melody didn't buy into the whole, oh, if you really love him, you'll overlook this, you'll overlook that, you'll hold him down, think about the kids, you breaking up the family. No, she didn't do that to herself. If Martell really loved her, he would have overlooked coleslaw and not acted on his temptations. See what I mean? Why does Melody always have to be the person that has to overlook stuff and accept the disrespect? No, what about Martell's obligation to overlook fornication in his marriage? Okay. But honestly, one person shouldn't be doing all the sacrificing in a relationship, in my opinion. So I'm glad when Melody had enough, she moved on. What they say, instead of trying to change the man, she just changed the man. And now, still on her heels. But honestly, if you really do want closure, if you really, really seem that you feel like you really need to get this off your chest or talk to the person that made you mad or that wronged you. And sometimes you do have to, it's levels to closure and checking people. But if it was like a really, really big deal or something that's just like, well, like I would never do that to them, how they did to me. Because like they said, a lot of people know what they're doing. A lot of people know that they're doing you wrong, but it's just something about them that gets gratification when you come and try to beg and make it work for, even though y'all both know it's disrespectful, they like having that upper hand where you're trying to make it work with them, even though they did the thing wrong. So a lot of times people know what they're doing or whatever, and they be trying to play in your face. And that's how come I feel. If you really, really want closure, then I'm going to give you this assignment. Use all that energy of wanting to get their side of the story and understand why they did this, why they did that, why they said this, why they said that, and redirect it towards leveling up. Redirect it towards your healing. Focus on you for the next, let's say 60 days. And if after those 60 days, you still want closure, fine, reach out, go ahead and get your closure. Because sometimes you just got to scratch that itch. And then once you scratch it, you be like, see, this is why I shouldn't never even spoke up. But sometimes you do have to get it off your chest. And then after that, you good. Like, okay, fine. I try to reach out to closure. They still play in my face. All right, now I know I can really, really move on. But I want to see if you can do it without the closure. That's really the real flex there, detached or whatever. So see how you feel after 60 days. But for me, I believe that chances are after you done poured into yourself, you won't even care anymore. Like the hurt, the sting of that won't be as strong as it was on day 1 as it'll probably be on day 60. If you're really doing this right, if you're really getting in your bag and you're really getting into your Bible, if you're really focusing on yourself, you really shouldn't feel that same hurt or betrayal on day 1. If you still, I don't know, you may have been doing something wrong, but no judgment. We all trying to get it how we live out here. So it's totally okay. So go ahead, start your hobby, go to the gym, do your hair, bake a cake, build a business like Melody did. There you go. Building a business should keep you occupied, you know? So when your hands and your mind are full of your future, you'll naturally let go of the past. You were just overly giving to others when you really should have been overly giving to yourself. That's how come, like, go ahead and get the pedicure. Go ahead and buy that wig off of hair.com. Go ahead and get the clothes together, your wardrobe together. Just go ahead and do it. You deserve it. Go ahead and book that vacation. Put all that time and energy into yourself. And trust me, it won't even hurt as much. Because like I said, people know what they're doing, but don't give them the why am I trying to say satisfaction? Don't give them the satisfaction. There we go. The satisfaction of letting them know that you even care about what they did. Like, you seen how they was moving funny. You seen how they was acting weird. Why you being weird to me? You seen it. That's okay. But that's all right. You're not going to call it out. You know, the price that they have to pay is that they no longer have access to you anymore. That is what that's really painful enough for a person, especially if you know that you did them right, that you would never do them how they did you, and you're taking back your resources and your power. Oh, they're going to be hurting because they don't make them like you anymore. You're one of a kind. People are really mean out there. So, you know, the person that screwed you over, they done effed around, and they will soon find out that it's not a lot of people that held them down the way you did. So that should be enough closure to know that they'll never get your goodness anymore, and they'll think about it. It'll haunt them. Trust me. I know. So try it. Focus on you with everything you got. Please, I beg of you. Please don't let your potential die because you're stuck on someone who hurt you. That's not the move. That's not what we're doing in 2025. You deserve that same energy. And you know who you're going to give it. And you know how it's going to come about. You're going to give it to yourself first. That way, you're making that vibration in the atmosphere. When you get to yourself, other people, it's going to attract other people to be riding for you the way that you ride for yourself. And that's another thing. We be going so hard for others. See how that energy is outwardly focused when it needs to be inwardly focused. I remember Iyanla Vanzant said, my cup runneth over. So you have to keep pouring into your cup until whatever comes out is for everybody else. But what's in the cup is for me. Oh, she ate with that one. I really like that she said that. So comment below. I want to hear from you guys. Do you give yourself closure, or do you still seek it out from the person who hurt you or the person who did you dirty? Like I said, no judgment. It's a no judgment zone. So I just want to hear. And then, like I said, I just feel like because we're building a community here, the juice be in the comments. That's why I want to hear from you guys. You know, I do that. I be watching YouTube videos and stuff like that. And I like hearing what other people have to say about a certain topic, you know, the same thing that we're all experiencing. And that really does help and lift me up. So think about that when you're making your comment. So what you say is important. You know, just because you're not saying it on YouTube does not mean anything. You know, I'm just getting the discussion popping, like Lovely TV saying. I'm just getting the discussion popping, but still, drop your comment below because you may have something, you may be saying something that someone else needs to hear that will really help them get out of their depression, that anxiety, that worry, and honestly, they may be trying to contemplate whether they want to get closure or not. So your comment may help them decide whether it's a good idea or not. So thank you guys again for listening. Please subscribe to this channel, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Bye.
Synquette, man, the girl was heaven sent. Synquette, man, the girl was heaven sent.